So Dave, here at the CCA Workbench,
Yes, sir.
we talk about a lot of different things.
Right.
And I'm really excited about tonight's topic.
Well, it's about the end game. When you got a fish up and you're wanting to take it, you're wanting to keep the fish, you're going to put a gaff in it. And first off, you want to start out, you want to make sure you have the right tools for the job, because this is a very important part of the whole deal. If you mess this up, you've got nothing. So first off, you want to have a pair of good gloves on. I never touch any kind of leader material, either wire or mono, unless I got a pair of gloves on, because I don't want to get cut. If I'm a mate on a boat and I get cut on the first day, I'm worthless to the team for the rest of the time. So take care of yourself, wear a good pair of gloves. It also helps when you're trying to get that leader up, it's not slipping as much, especially if you're taking the proper wraps.
Can I ask you a question? I know you
Sure.
got a lot to talk about.
Sure.
A lot of the mistakes the guys grab with a pair of gloves and they can't feel actually how much pressure. Your advice, 2 fingers?
Yep, I always give it a little pinch just to see what the fish is going to do. Also, I want to get a reaction from the fish. You've been pulling on the fish for however long you've been to fighting him at the same drag setting. Most people don't even mess with their drag. It stays at strike. So the fish has been fighting for 15 minutes at 15 pounds of drag, and then the mate reaches out there and grabs the thing or puts more drag on it. The fish is going to make a reaction. Either it's a billfish or a dolphin or a tuna. Okay. We also want to make sure you have good shoes on. I don't like to have my mate who's doing the wiring or the gaffing being barefoot. I don't want him to be sliding around.
Closed toes.
Yeah, and if he gets a big fish on a gaff and he can't get a good purchase, he's getting drug around the deck. I don't want that either. I want him to have a good pair of shoes on. Your gaff should match the size to the fish you're catching. You'll see a lot of on a boats, a lot of bamboo with a little fish hook on it, and that's their gaff. Well, that's fine for bottom fish and little fish 10, 15 pounds. But once you start getting bigger, you're going to want a decent gaff with a decent hook on it, like this AFCO gaff, something that you're going to be able to lift the fish out. A tuna or a marlin, yeah, perfect for a cobia. A tuna or a marlin can pull out straight in a big gaff, so you want to have a good size one. Also, when you're fishing for kingfish or wahoo, you got to make sure that you don't have this gap is too wide, because a lot of times you can go right over the body of one of those narrow-bodied fish, especially if you're making a quick stab in the dark when the fish isn't under control, and you do that, and then you lift that fish. You think you got a gaff in him, and you lift him into the boat, and he falls off, and that's a dangerous situation when you have a kingfish or a dolphin, in the boat with running around. Try to hit every fish that you're doing in the head. Does 3 things. First off, it saves the meat. It kills the fish very fast. And when he's on the gaff, if you've got a good headshot, it's hard for him to shake off. If you hit him further back in the body, he can use his whole body to whip off the gaff. But when you've got his head, he's pinned.
Okay. So here's our fish. He's going from our left to right.
Right. Let's say we're on the starboard side of the boat.
You're going to come in behind the leader, right? Here's your angler. You're going to come in behind.
What I'll do,
Don't go across.
a lot of times if it's a fish laying alongside of the boat, like I want him to, we want the guy who's driving the boat to keep the boat in gear, to keep the fish under control. A lot of times that doesn't happen, like if you got a bunch of schoolie dolphin behind the boat and you're anchored or drifting. It's a lot harder, but if you can keep the fish going in one direction, like I'll try to keep the fish on this side of the boat, because I like to grab the leader with my left hand and hit him with my right hand. But when the fish is coming alongside, sometimes I'll even lay the gaff on the leader and slide it down with the point hook towards his tail, so it comes straight down, and right when it gets close to his face, I hit him like that. And that way I hit him in the face every time, because it's this far that I can only go back, or however big my gaff is, I'm going to hit him that far away from his face.
Right.
So I'm always going to hit him in the head, probably knock his eyeballs out, which is perfect.
Right.
If I can come straight down and get him with the eyeballs, and then I call the whole thing in. Never put a gaff in a fish unless you've got a place to put it beforehand. I know some boats don't have a fish box, but I hope you have a cooler or something, because when you gaff a cobia or a dolphin that goes berserk when it gets a gaff in it, you want to have that thing going immediately in one smooth motion into the box, and you want to have one guy whose job is to open and close that box. And when he opens the box, his job is to say, "Hey guys, the fish box is open," because I've stepped in fish boxes a few times.
Right.
And one time I had a big 50-pound dolphin on my chest, flopping around with 2 giant 12-Os, right near my jugular vein. You know,
Scary.
just banging,
Scary.
banging, banging, because I didn't know the fish box was open. I shouldn't have hit the fish unless I know that the box is open and it's ready.
So what else you got?
I don't know.
You get, what's about wind dongs?
Keep a dolphin's head in the water. If a dolphin's head comes out of the water, he's going to start jumping. You can't hit a fish in midair. I mean, you might be able to, but it's going to be hard. Tuna fishes, you want to pop his head out of the water. If
Right.
you pop a tuna's head out, he's done.
Right.
You know, you want to. That's how you've done your job, and now you can just reach over and stick a gaff in him. But you don't want to pull a dolphin's head out of the water, and you don't want to touch a tuna fish's tail.
Right.
At any time.
Right.
Because once you hit his tail, then he's a prey animal too, so he gets scared when something touches his tail.
Speaking of doing your job, you did a great job here tonight. Thank you so much. Bree, it's time for you to do your
And no
job.
lumberjack hack.
Ah,
right,
I forgot
Dave?
the no Babe Ruth, no swinging
No
for the
swinging,
fences.
no
Easy.
hacking, just one smooth motion.